In 1954, 7 days after the passing of my grandmother and the burial of my grandmother, I won a recording contract to record for Apollo Records. And that was the beginning of my career. That was the beginning of my singing career on tape and records. And back in those days, it was just 78s, and it was before all of your time. So we're going back in dinosaur history now. And it was an amazing situation. And there was a young lady who invited me. I think she attended my grandmother's service, and she whispered in my ear, she says, "I know you're so depressed and everything right now, losing your grandmommy, but there's going to be a big program at Williams Chapel Sunday. If you want to come over, you come on over, and Mother Williams is going to put you on that program. You come on, you come by there." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." You reply to people, you respond to people. And I remembered that. I remember that very strongly in my mind. And that Sunday, I asked the boys in my group, I said, "Guys, would you come go to the church with me? They're having a big program there, and a lot of singers, famous singers are going to be there, and some people from some record companies are going to be there." And they said, "Man, your grandmother just died, man." And the other guy said, "My mother just getting the television from Bartell's. We got one of the television, we put a quarter in. We got about 9 quarters. We're going to see about 6 shows, man. You better stay here with us. You ain't going to make no money." I said, "No, I'm supposed to go. I promised this lady I might come, And she asked me, at my grandmother's funeral, man, I really need to go." Nobody went with me. So I wound up borrowing a jacket from my uncle, some pants from my father, and I went on up to the church and trying to tuck my sleeves up in my jacket. And I said, "Oh, I don't have no guitar." And I'm at the church and I got no guitar. I said, "Well, I'll just sing. Somebody play the guitar for me." And I wound up borrowing a guitar from one of the great groups there. And I had to tune my guitar because I play Vassapoo. I'm tuning it and I'm speaking at the time as I'm tuning. I started preaching on faith and the deliverance of the power of God and how we have to step out on nothing, believing that something is there. And the Lord just began to move with me as I was tuning the guitar. And then I went into the old ship of Zion and I sang that. And the church all got on board and all the choir was singing, the people singing, people were shouting and crying, and I just put the guitar down. The guy said, "You better tune that guitar." And the lady said to me, "You're mine, you're mine." I said, "Mine? Who's this lady?" I never forget, she had on these furs all over it. They're called Stone Martens, and there's like 30 of them, and it looked like they're all going to bite you, And she said, "You're just mine." And that was Bess Berman, and she signed me to a recording contract. And Mrs. Williams was just overwhelmed. She said, "I knew the Lord told me to tell you to come here." And from that, I thanked her so much that I even asked her would she allow her husband to help me, who was a famous disc jockey, Kay Williams in Philadelphia, to represent me, And that was the beginning of my first manager and my first recording contract. And that's how Solomon Burke became a recording artist on Apollo Records in 1954, December